Hello, what's the secret for today? What if the ruins of Chernobyl held more than just memories? Beneath decades of dust and silence, 18 newly unearthed photos reveal eerie glimpses of something not quite human. Some have never been seen before. One might even confirm whispers that have haunted survivors for years. What do these pictures show? Let's explore. Both Chernobyl and Pripyat were abandoned after the accident at the fourth unit of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Today, these cities still carry traces of the event, most notably the gas masks left behind. These masks, often seen in schools, hospitals, and homes, have become symbols of the incident. They rest on desks, floors, and window sills, even near toys in children's rooms. Although not effective without full protective gear, their presence is a powerful visual reminder. One of the most striking locations is school number 3 in Pripyat, where a classroom floor is filled with these masks. They reflect the abrupt and heartbreaking evacuation of thousands who had to leave everything behind. But the eerie silence of gas masks isn't the only thing the forest absorbed. The red forest illustrates how rapid human advancement can impact the environment. Before the Chernobyl accident, it was a typical pine forest with a healthy ecosystem. Due to its location near the reactor, it absorbed much of the radioactive release. Within 30 minutes, radiation severely damaged trees over roughly 200 square kilometers, turning them reddish-brown, giving rise to the name red forest. Scientists later divided the area into 4 zones based on radiation levels. The most affected zone, about 45 square kilometers, remains highly radioactive. The least affected area has been largely cleared. Initially, scientists hoped the forest would recover on its own. However, because pine needles stay on trees for 2 to 3 years, the natural process was too slow. The forest was removed to speed up recovery, although radiation remains in the soil. Since the 2000s, restoration efforts have continued, but some parts of the forest still show elevated radiation levels. If you lived nearby, would you have trusted the officials or fled the moment you heard the word radiation? Comment and chat with me. While nature was being scorched outside, something far more heartbreaking was left behind untouched. Pripyat City Park, built in 1986, was intended as a place for rest and recreation. Its main attraction, a large Ferris wheel, was scheduled to open on May 1st. But 5 days earlier, the Chernobyl accident occurred, halting those plans. The park never welcomed visitors and remains abandoned, now occasionally seen by tourists. The area is among the most affected in Pripyat, having been used as a landing site during the early response efforts. Radiation levels are believed to be higher under the Ferris wheel and near other rides. Today, the silent park serves as a symbol of the Chernobyl event and continues to inspire various works of art, including films, television shows, and video games. As the Ferris wheel stood still, a new structure began to rise, massive, metallic, and meant to shield a deadly past. One of the most well-known structures at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant is the new safe confinement, also called the Dome. Built in 2007, 31 years after the disaster, it is a massive, movable structure weighing over 36,000 tons and standing about 108 meters tall. Designed to last 100 years, it can withstand extreme weather and natural disasters. The dome's main job is to prevent the spread of radiation. It also shields the site from rain and melting snow. Inside, there is a special control room to monitor conditions. Before the dome, a shelter built in just 200 days provided protection. Though meant to last 20 years, it still stands today. Now, the dome not only protects the site, but also draws many tourists interested in the history of the disaster. But as engineering tried to contain the disaster, human hesitation caused something even greater. Before exploring, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just hit the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It helps this channel so much. And if you do that, I will do everything I can to make this show even better for you. Deal? The Chernobyl accident occurred during the night of April 25 to 26, 1986. Nearby residents were unaware of the unfolding emergency. Authorities delayed their response, and radiation reports surfaced several hours later. Pripyat, located 3 kilometers from the plant, began evacuation 36 hours after the explosion on the evening of April 27th. People had only 2 to 3 hours to prepare. They were not fully informed and believed they would return soon. To prevent panic, officials minimized the perceived risk and shared limited details. As a result, some residents returned home without knowing radiation levels remained high. In total, more than 115,000 people were evacuated. Many lost their homes and experienced long-term health effects. Some children born after the event were affected by medical conditions. The lack of clear and timely communication increased the impact of the disaster. And when the truth finally surfaced, it echoed not just in headlines but in haunting shadows on cold concrete. Residents in the exclusion zone learned the truth only after high radiation levels were detected in Sweden. This prompted authorities to issue a public statement about the accident. Today, Chernobyl and Pripyat draw interest from both visitors and artists. In Pripyat, dark-colored murals can be seen on abandoned buildings. These were created by international artists aiming to bring emotional depth and attention to the site through art. One notable project is Shadows of Chernobyl. The artists followed a shared concept, painting figures that resemble the silhouettes of former residents, such as a girl reaching for an elevator button or a woman on a rooftop gazing toward the reactor. The project has sparked debate. Some view it as a powerful tribute, while others see it as an inappropriate use of abandoned structures. Among the shadows, however, were those who never truly left. After the Chernobyl accident, residents near the plant were evacuated. By law, they could exchange their homes for new ones in safer areas. Most accepted, and more than 116,000 people were resettled. But about 100, mostly women, chose to remain in the affected zone. Despite health warnings, they stayed deeply attached to their homes. Many were elderly and expressed a strong connection to the place, often saying, "We were born here, and we will die here." Today, a group called Chernobyl Revival supports those still living in the exclusion zone with everyday needs. But the most chilling stories often come from visitors who encounter more than they bargained for. In 2022, 2 unnamed friends visited the abandoned city, drawn by its eerie, frozen-in-time atmosphere. They researched routes and safety guidelines, but their experience took an unexpected turn. On their first night, while walking near the old Ferris wheel, they heard what sounded like distant children's laughter. Then a faint voice called for help. Curious and uneasy, they followed the sound to an empty school. Inside, they claimed to see a blurry figure of a girl dancing. Spooked, they believed they had witnessed something supernatural. Deeply shaken, they left immediately and never returned. Strange as that night was, the danger of this place is marked not just by fear but by fences, guards, and warnings. Some people believe unexplained events occur in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, though such claims remain unproven. At the entrance to the 30-kilometer zone, a warning sign reminds visitors of the serious safety risks. The area is secured with barbed wire fences and guarded checkpoints. Radiation is regularly monitored by specialists, with levels tracked across various points. While radiation has slowly decreased over time, the zone is still considered hazardous. These warning signs are more than just symbols. They are part of a broader safety system to prevent unauthorized access. Nearly 40 years after the Chernobyl disaster of 1986, they continue to help protect people and preserve awareness of the event. Yet life here doesn't always follow human rules. Just ask the wolves who seem to thrive where others wither. The Chernobyl accident caused long-term environmental damage. Nearly 40 years later, some animals in the exclusion zone still show possible signs of genetic mutation. Scientists are studying how radiation affects living organisms, with wolves drawing particular attention. Many have curled tails, a rare trait, as wolves typically have straight, downward-pointing tails. Biologists found these wolves are exposed to over 11 millibars of radiation daily, around 6 times the recommended safe level for humans. Long-term exposure appears to have led to biological changes, including potential resistance to certain illnesses. These effects resemble responses observed during radiation therapy in humans. This discovery may help researchers explore new ways to study cancer resistance. And it's not just wolves, nature itself is rewriting the rules in an unexpected rebirth. The Chernobyl exclusion zone spans about 2,800 square kilometers. After the accident, it became the third largest nature reserve in Europe. Scientists began studying its ecosystems and uncovered unexpected results. Although many assume the area is barren, plants and animals have adapted over time. While some species show signs of mutation, the zone has evolved into a diverse ecosystem. Most radioactive materials decayed quickly. Within 1 month, only a small fraction remained, and after 1 year, less than 1% remained. From 1987 to 1996, populations of wild boar, elk, and roe deer increased. By the mid-90s, wolves grew in number, and rare species like lynxes, bears, storks, and bison began to return. Today, the zone supports hundreds of species, including more than 60 that are considered rare. Surprisingly, the forest is now more diverse and appears more resilient to climate change and wildfires. Many visitors come to Pripyat and Chernobyl to explore the abandoned towns and experience the atmosphere of a historic, isolated region. If this journey through Chernobyl left you with chills or questions, hit that like button. It helps us bring more forgotten places and hidden stories to light. But amid this natural revival lies a building that still whispers secrets of those first critical hours. One of Pripyat's most notable abandoned sites is Medical Unit Number 126. Built shortly before the disaster, it now stands as a quiet symbol of the past. An overgrown park sits in front of the hospital, once a tidy and peaceful place. Inside, long empty corridors and rooms still hold hospital beds, nightstands, and personal items, creating a sense that time has stood still. The building has a somber atmosphere, as if holding memories of what happened there. The basement is known for its historical significance. Firefighters involved in the initial response to the Chernobyl accident were treated there, and some of their belongings may still be present. Access to the basement is restricted due to elevated radiation levels, which remain a concern even decades later. And from the walls of medicine, we move to the realm of myth, where a dark omen may have appeared before disaster struck. The Chernobyl exclusion zone is often associated with mysterious stories. Its eerie setting adds to the sense of the unknown. Interestingly, tales of strange sightings in the area existed even before the nuclear accident. Some former plant workers claimed to see a black, winged figure with a human shape and glowing red eyes shortly before the disaster. Locals refer to this entity as the Black Drost, a figure in regional legends said to appear before tragic events. Similar descriptions were reported in Virginia before the Silver Bridge collapse on December 15, 1967, which resulted in 46 deaths and 9 injuries. While many believe these stories are folklore or coincidence, others find the similarities curious. Legends may haunt the skies, but mutations etched themselves into the very wings of the birds below. The Chernobyl disaster released a large amount of radioactive material into the environment, leading to notable changes in local plants and animals. Some birds developed physical anomalies, particularly in contaminated forests. Scientists observed extra or split toes in species like passerines and corvids. In some cases, this improved movement, while in others it caused difficulty. Radiation also appeared to affect behavior, such as migration and breeding patterns. Barn swallows have been a key focus of research. In the early 2000s, scientists reported traits such as partial albinism, beak changes, irregular feather growth, and altered brain size. Despite this, their population has grown, possibly due to reduced human presence. Certain species have shown resilience. Wolves, lynxes, and white cranes have increased in number. However, domestic animals were more affected. In 1990, approximately 400 livestock births showed physical abnormalities, with many animals not surviving. These cases were primarily observed in pigs, cows, and sheep, and are thought to be linked to radiation exposure during early development. Today, radiation still influences some species. A well-known example is the large European catfish found in the cooling pond near the plant. Introduced before the disaster, they have grown to over 3 meters long. Tourists are often surprised by their size, but scientists note this is within the natural range for their species in undisturbed environments. Interestingly, these catfish have shown no clear signs of harm from radiation. Even the smallest creatures are changing, but sometimes it's the color of survival that speaks loudest. The Chernobyl accident impacted both the environment and local wildlife. Some animals developed genetic changes, while others adapted to high radiation levels. Eastern tree frogs in the exclusion zone are one example of possible rapid evolution. Spanish biologists from the University of Adia recently found about 200 tree frogs near the plant. Unlike the typical bright green color, these frogs were almost black. The closer they lived to the accident site, the darker their skin appeared. Lab studies revealed that these frogs produced more melanin, a pigment responsible for color that may also help protect against radiation. Darker frogs appeared to survive better in these conditions, suggesting the species may be adapting over time. In a short time, dark-skinned frogs began passing high melanin levels to their offspring. This trait may help them cope with the radioactive environment. And among all the survivors, one species keeps howling at the edge of ruin, man's best friend reborn in fallout. After the evacuation of Pripyat and Chernobyl, many dogs were left behind. They formed packs and survived without human care. Today, around 800 dogs live in the exclusion zone. Scientists study them through the Chernobyl Canine Research Initiative, launched in 2017. The project offers food, veterinary support, and conducts genetic research. Dogs near the power plant are especially significant for research because their ancestors were likely exposed to the highest levels of radiation. This group descended from 2 German shepherds left during the evacuation. Scientists have observed mutations, though it is unclear whether they result from radiation, inbreeding, or long-term environmental exposure. It may take at least 10 years to determine if the changes are inherited. But not all who enter are lost. Some come searching, drawn by mystery and decay. After the Chernobyl disaster and the evacuation of Chernobyl and Pripyat, the exclusion zone began to attract unauthorized visitors interested in exploring abandoned places. Despite strict security and health risks, some individuals entered restricted areas. As radiation levels declined, short visits to certain sites became safer. In 2002, access to some parts of the zone was allowed with special permits. By 2010, regulated tourism expanded, drawing thousands of visitors eager to see a place seemingly frozen in time. In 2011, open access was limited again. Today, visits are only possible with official permission, through guided tours and designated safe zones. Even during multi-day trips, overnight stays are typically arranged outside the exclusion zone. And then, there's the photo, the one that shook the internet. What did it show? The main attractions of Chernobyl tours include the abandoned buildings of Pripyat in Chernobyl, the iconic Ferris wheel, and the protective dome over the nuclear plant. Over time, the area has become known not only for its history but also for mysterious legends. Some stories tell of ghostly sounds and strange sightings in the ruins. A few even speak of eerie, creature-like figures near the city, though these accounts are considered folklore. One explorer claimed to have found an old house with personal items left behind. On a dusty table, he discovered a box of photographs. He later posted one image online, suggesting it supported the ghost stories. While such tales spark curiosity, they remain unverified and are part of the region's growing mythos. Which of the 20 photos shook you the most? Was it the gas masks, the ghostly figure, or the black frogs? Drop the number in the comments. I read everyone. If you found today's video interesting, don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Your support is very important to us. Be sure to check out the next video appearing on your screen. You're sure to love the content we bring. Please leave a comment about which country you'd like us to explore next. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.
Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.